Being full-time RVers, one question we've been asked numerous times is, how much does it cost to live in an RV and travel the country? Or is it less expensive to live in an RV traveling the country than it is in a sticks and bricks? Well, the answer to that question is not a one answer fits all by any means. But what we can do is share with you what we spent in 2023 living on the road. Let's get started. Diane and I have been full-time RVers now for 11 years, and we keep track of every penny we spend, and I keep track of that on a spreadsheet. So let me pop that up on the computer here and share it with you. Now bear with me. Getting it up on this screen and me sharing this screen with you is really a challenge for me. So let's see how this goes. Before we go any further, let me point out the obvious. What you see on our spreadsheet fits our lifestyle, it fits us. If you have a car payment, for example, or a house payment, or you travel with pets, anything like that, those could be things that you need to add to your spreadsheet. So again, stating the obvious, this is just what we spend. All right, let's take a look at our spreadsheet. So let's start with January. And it's pretty obvious. Here in column B is our January budget, and column C is what we spent, and then down below is what the totals are. And off to the left-hand side, you'll see the categories that we keep track of. If you look at the numbers, you'll see that we stayed pretty much in line and everything. We actually saved a little bit of money on our food in. Food in is anything we buy at a store and come home and prepare. Now, if we go buy a pizza and bring it home, we go buy a hamburger and bring it home, that would be eating out. So you'll see we budgeted $575. We spent $438.60. Our food out, we budgeted $250. We spent $285.84. So between the two, we kind of evened it out. Campground fees is exact because during the winter months we stay at a resort, so we know what we spend each month. So that's why it shows our budget was $1,216 and we actually spent $1,216. Campground electric, we budget $125, we spent $146. Miscellaneous health and laundry, we budgeted $200, but we really spent $30. So at the bottom here in January, you'll see that we actually spent $2,567. We budgeted $3,222, so under budget. Let's pop over here to February, and we're going to show the total at the very end, obviously. So here you'll see February. We budgeted $3,132. We spent $2,660. So again, everything's pretty much in line. We were under in our food in again. Food out, we were a little over. Wintertime, we're in February. Friends were coming in here visiting, so we went out to eat a lot. That's how that happens. Phone and internet stays the same. We know what that's going to be. Campground fees, again, we're still at the resort during the winter during that time. Campground electric, we always budget $125. That was $119. We were under in our miscellaneous health and laundry. So not too bad, right? $2,660, a little under budget. Now let's go to March. Now March, we budgeted $3,822. We spent $3,118. So again, under by a little bit. Ram fuel, we budgeted $280. We spent $200. I started putting a little bit of fuel in, getting ready for our summer travels. Ram registration, I budgeted $150. That's what it cost before. It actually went down to $126. We saved a little bit. We didn't use any fuel in the car that month. Once we stay at this resort, a lot of times we'd hardly go anywhere. Fifth wheel registration went down a little bit than what I budgeted, so I budgeted $370. It was $297. We'll take that. Our dish TV, which again is usually pretty much right on budget. Food in, once again, we saved a little money. We budgeted $575. We spent $450 basically. And we were under on our eating out budget, so that's a win-win. Campground fees, once again, still at the resort, so that's a set fee. And so we saved a little bit of money in March. We spent $31.18. We budgeted $38.22. All right, let's slide on over to April now. So April, we budgeted $56.36. We spent $53.72, so not too bad. You'll notice the budget was a lot higher because we had things like our truck and car insurance come due, so we budgeted for that. Otherwise, fifth wheel maintenance, ram fuel, ram maintenance, all that was right in line. I budgeted $2,800 for our RV and Diane's car insurance and truck insurance. It actually came to $2,400, so it went down a little bit for us. Propane was $15 over budget, no big deal. Dish TV, again, pretty much stays the same. Our food in budget, we budgeted $575, we spent $548. Our eating out budget was $250, we spent $168. That's nice to be under in that category. Phone and internet stays about the same, and once again, we're still at our resort in April, and so $1,216. A little bit over in miscellaneous health and laundry, otherwise pretty much what we expected, right? Budgeted $56.36, and we spent $53.72. Now let's head over to May. May, things again were still kind of mumbled jumbled because of my medical emergency in March. So the budget started changing for us. Fifth wheel maintenance, we actually budgeted. We planned on going to Kansas to have some stuff done to the coach. But because of the medical emergency, me dying, our plans changed. We did not go to Kansas, so we didn't spend that money. Ram fuel, we budgeted money to go to Kansas and on to Colorado. So obviously we didn't do that, so we saved on Ram fuel. Ram maintenance, I didn't budget to do our maintenance for the truck that month. So we budgeted $250. I was just going to do an oil change and some basic stuff, but we spent $1,135, as you can see. So if I go down below and take a look at that, you'll see here it says the truck 30,000 mile service. So that's where that over budget came. I went ahead and did 30,000 mile service on the truck. CRV gas, we budgeted $150. We spent $251. And then you can see for yourself as we go on down. Our food in was a little under, spent $500, budgeted $575. Food out was over $384. We budgeted $250. Budgeted $1,000 for campground fees, spent $962, so right in line. Miscellaneous health and laundry was higher. Again, my medical emergency cost us some money, medication, things like that. So that's where that comes into play. So we were over for that month. We budgeted $3,771 and we spent $46.17. So that was not a good month for us. Now slide on over to June. And again, things were all messed up because of the medical emergency. But Ram fuel, we budgeted $350. We spent $249. CRV gas was over. The CRV upkeep, we budgeted $10. We spent $496. If we slide down below and take a look, we did a CRV major service. So the mileage on the CRV reached a point we needed to do a big service on the CRV, so that's what that comes to. And then you'll see everything else is pretty much in line. Again, Dish TV pretty much in line. Food in, we budget $575. We spent $596. Our food out budgeted $250. We spent $227. Campground fees threw us off a little bit because where we had planned to stay to get a monthly rate and be sitting at a repair center for the RV didn't happen. We spent a couple $100 more for the month of June, so $1,275. Everything else is pretty much in line, but we budgeted $2,951. We spent $33.98, so a little over budget, but not too bad. Now let's head into July. You can just look through these numbers. RV maintenance, we spent $37.99. CRV gas was more because we had to do some traveling from where we were camped at to a couple specialists for me to go see as my medical emergency caused to have happen. So that jumped up a little bit. Where was I at? Oh, CRV gas, I'm sorry, $309. Dish TV again in line. Food in, a little under budget, right on line with food out. Phone internet was a little high. I think in July we decided to try the T-Mobile, so we added a T-Mobile hotspot to our phone system, and that made the difference there. Campground fees, again, we budgeted $1,000. We planned on being sitting in Colorado during that time, but as it turned out, we bounced around in Oregon, so we spent $14.37. Again, miscellaneous health, because of my medical emergency, we had some added expenses come around. Clothing, I don't know what we bought. We bought something in clothing. Spent 129. We budgeted 50. So we budgeted 28.41. We spent 33.76. And there you see the T-Mobile was added there at the bottom as part of our phone expense. All right, so that's July. Let's move on over to August. August, I just wanted to make sure I was still recording. I told you I was struggling. All right, let's just go through August a little quicker. So August, $221 in fuel compared to a $100 budget. We were looking for a chunk of land in Oregon, so we spent a lot of money on fuel, bouncing around, looking at land all over the country there. So that's where the extra fuel comes in. Dish TV, where it needs to be. Food in, we spent $747 on food in compared to $575. But food out, we only spent $193 compared to a budget of $250, so it almost came to a wash. Phone and internet, again, higher than what we budgeted because of the added T-Mobile that we're testing out. Campground fees are a little above budget. We spent $1141 compared to $1,000. So if you come to the end of the month, not too bad. We budgeted $2,921 and we spent $2,964. So no real complaints there. Let's head on over to September. Ram fuel. Now in September we planned on doing some more traveling, but because we were more stationary, waiting for doctor's appointments and all that good stuff, again because of my medical emergency, we didn't spend any money on Ram fuel. Nothing on Ram maintenance. CRV gas, though, as you can see, still looking for property, right? $394 between running around looking at property and doing 200-mile trips to doctor's appointments. That really added up. $394 for insurance for the truck and car and CRV. I'm not sure where that really worked out, but it was an expense. Again, Dish TV about in line. Food in was a little under budget, $516 with a budget of $575. Our eating out expenses at $266 was basically in line. Phone and internet over because of T-Mobile. But our campground fees were a little under, $671. We budgeted $1,000. Health and laundry in line. Overall, we budgeted $2,961. We spent $2,716. We'll take that as a win. October. You can look down through here. So we put some fuel in the truck, $400. We budgeted $450. CRV gas still $303 compared to $150 we budgeted. CRV upkeep $82.98. I think we did an oil change. Let me look down here. Nope, we didn't. So we spent something on CRV upkeep, $82. I think it was an oil change though. Dish TV in line. Food in, we spent $576, budgeted $575, and we were under in our eating out, so that's a win. Phone internet again over for T-Mobile. Miscellaneous health up a tad bit. Overall, we budgeted $3,181 and we spent $3,051. Not bad. Let's go to November. So everything looked pretty much in line all the way down through November. Even our food in, we budgeted $575. It came in at $546. Budgeted $250 eating out. We spent $172. That's always a win. Phone and internet over because of T-Mobile. Campground fees $1248. We budgeted $1,000. Overall, we budgeted $2536. We spent $2,689. Not too bad. Let's move on over to December. And in December, Ram fuel, we spent $200. I budgeted $0. The only reason I put $200 in is because I knew we were under in our Ram fuel expense. And the fuel app I used, which is the Upside app, we had a pretty good discount at that particular time. So I went ahead and got my 50 gallons and put in $200 in the truck. So that putting in $200 saved us a bunch of money with our discount with the Upside app at that time. Dish TV, Paramount. Now you'll see Paramount had $0 all the way through. It's because last year during the New Year's, I think it was, they offered a 1 year for $59.09. I forget what it was a month. So we paid nothing all year, and then that came due in December. So that's that $59.99. Food in, pretty much in budget. Budget $575. We spent $581. We were under in our eating out expenses. That's good. Phone and internet broken record, over because of T-Mobile. We did cancel our whole hotspot, our old hotspot for Verizon. So once we got past December, it put our phone bills back in line again. Campground fees, $12.48. I don't know why I budgeted $1,000, because we knew we were going to be at the resort, and that's what we pay a month at the resort. I budgeted $125 for electric, but this year at the resort we stay at, they included the electric, garbage, and water in with the $1,248 rent. So that's not too bad. It kind of evened out a little bit. And there you'll see that we budgeted $2,605, and we actually spent $3,069. Now here's the amazing part. Let's move over to the year-end totals. Check this out. This has never happened this close before, but check it out. I know you're already looking down here. We budgeted, now this time the budget's over here on the right in the green. We budgeted we budgeted $39,599.99. We spent $39,602.66. That's crazy. Now, if you look through here, you'll see that some things are under, some things are over, but it just, at the bottom line, that's all we care about. We were really on budget. So if you look at the total expenses for the year, fifth wheel maintenance, we were budgeted $520. We spent $100 because we had a couple things planned that we didn't do, right? We talked about that. Ram fuel, because we did not do our trip to Kansas and Colorado and the whole big loop we had planned, we only spent $16.29. And if we hadn't spent the $200 in December, it would have been even lower. Ram maintenance, we did 30,000 miles, so we're over on our budget. 360 budget, spent $11.35. You can go down here and look. CRV gas, because of looking at all the properties, we were overspent there. The CRV upkeep, because of the major service we did on the car. Insurance is pretty much in line. $27.94 for the year. We budgeted $28. Propane $217, budget $180. Dish TV right in line. We budgeted $12.72. We spent $12.05. Not too bad. Food in, I'm always happy here. We budgeted $6,900. We spent $63.78, and we budgeted $3,000 for eating out. We spent $2,924. Usually we blow those out of the water and always overspent. Phone and internet, we was over a couple $100 because of T-Mobile. Campground fees, we budgeted $12,864. We spent $13,847 for campground fees. We were under in campground electric. We were over in miscellaneous health. We budgeted $900. We spent $1327 again because of my major health issue. Mail was pretty much in line. Everything else is pretty much in line as you look down through here. So that's pretty amazing that we were almost dead perfect on our budget. All right, I apologize if I flew through that spreadsheet, but obviously you can pause it at any time you want to take a better look at those numbers. All right, I apologize if I flew through that spreadsheet, but I didn't want to turn this into a 2-hour video, which I could have done easily. But you can go back and pause the video at any point you want to and take a look at those numbers. Also, keep in mind, as I mentioned before, if you have house payments or car payments or RV payments, or if you travel with pets or a few other things, you know you need to add those to your spreadsheet. That would differ from what we spend over here. Also, we're pretty average people. We don't eat steak every night. If we go out to restaurants, our average restaurant bill is going to be in the $30 to $40 range, and that's kind of on the high side. Very seldom, or if ever, do we go out and spend $75 or $100 on a meal. That just is not us. So if you go out and do that, then you can make those adjustments. The rule of whatever you spend in the sticks and bricks, as far as eating in, is probably what you're going to spend living in an RV as well. The difference for us, we do go out to eat more often, living in an RV, traveling the country, because we want to taste what different parts of the country have to offer. So our eating out budget is usually higher than what it would be in a sticks and bricks. But, you know, it may be different for you. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, we've kept track of every single penny we've spent while on the road the last 11 years. And I have that all broken down onto one separate spreadsheet that compares each year from 2012 all the way to 2023. And I plan on putting together a video to share that with you as well. It's pretty interesting to look at the different expenses of each year side by side. I'll share that with you later on, so consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you have any questions for us concerning the full-time RV lifestyle, feel free to leave them below in the comment section. We're going to put together a video here real soon that's going to answer the top 50 questions we've been asked while living on the road. Probably going to do that in a two-part series, but anyway, put your questions down below. All right, you know where I'm going next. If you enjoyed the video, how about a thumbs up? Leave a comment down below. Consider subscribing. And as always, have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.